down payment assistance tonight. The numbers here are 281-837-2222. I've got Troy Cochran. Troy is with Victory Properties, and he is the chairman of the board of the Southeast Texas Housing Agency that has a down payment program that carries most of Southeast Texas, or Southeast region here. The numbers here are 281-837-2222. Also in the studio with me is Steve Harris with the MCC program. Steve works a lot with SETH, Southeast Texas Housing Agency. And so tonight we're going to be talking about down payment assistance. This show is brought to you by Prosperity Bank with the best home loan in Houston, and also American Title, 5802 Val Verde. But if you want to call in, you have some questions from our guests, we're going to be talking about down payment assistance. Once again, 281-837-2222. Give us a call. Troy and Steve, welcome to the Real Estate Corner.
Thank you, Shad.
All right. Troy, you didn't know we were going to be doing TV, so we're taping this for our Saturday morning show at 8 a.m. at 15.10 Iconic TV. And then we repeat this show on Sunday night at 8 p.m. And that's 15.10. We will also be playing this show for everyone. We're going to be doing this show on YouTube. So we put it back out on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. We want to get this information. I've got two producers in my ear. I've got Crystal, who's helping me produce the show for TV, and I've got Jermaine back at KWWJ 1360 down in Baytown, who's helping me with this show also on radio. The numbers again, 281-837-2222. So I'm going to start off with you, Troy, and just kind of get an idea. Explain to our listening audience and the people back home who are letting us come into their Saturday morning in their living rooms what SETH is, Southeast Texas Housing Agency, and the areas that you cover.
Will do. You know, before I share that, I'd like to just tell you thank you for the opportunity for us to be able to come out to share this information. So many people do not know what's out there and available for them. And it's so important for them to hear this, to ask their loan officer or the realtors that they're working with so that they can be more aggressive about finding programs that help them to purchase their home.
Well, I appreciate it, and I know you're very active in the Deer Park, Galena Park, southeast part of town area, and I just want to thank you for all the things that you do. You're very active. You just don't sell real estate. You're in there making things happen, and I want to thank you and Southeast Texas Agency for coming on the show. I've got a few shares. I put it out on Facebook that we were going to be there, so I'm going to turn it over to you and explain to us what Southeast Texas Agency and the areas that you cover, because a lot of it is the 1360 listening audience.
It sure is. It sure is. Okay, first of all, it's also called SETH, S-E-T-H, and that stands for Southeast Texas Housing Finance Corporation. And we have been around for about 30 years. So this is not a new organization. We're very established and been progressive in very many different programs. The programs that we're dealing with right now is there's a program called the SETH Gold Star Program. Now what this is, it's a down payment assistance that helps the buyers with their closing cost and prepaids, and it can help them substantially to get a large amount of money for their down payment to go in for less money. You have two options that on this program that can work for you. Number one, these are forgivable second liens on the grant because they want people that are getting this money to use it towards moving in to stay in their home. There's a 7-year and a 10-year program. The 7-year program starts to be forgiven after 2 years, and at the end of the 7 years is totally forgiven. So there's no payback, there's no extra fees or anything when you sell the home. If you go with the 10-year forgivable, it starts getting paid back in, let's see, I believe that is going to be in 5 years. And then in 10 years, it's totally forgiven as well. So as long as they're buying the home to live in it, and they're going to be there for a while, it's an outstanding program.
So, Troy, what areas do Southeast Texas Housing Agency covers?
Well, it depends on which program we're talking about. This particular program right here, it's statewide, actually.
Okay.
The only areas that we don't cover would be like the Travis County, and there's a couple of cities, El Paso and Grand Prairie. So we're probably pretty safe. If you're listening to this program, you're probably qualified in an area that would work with this particular program.
All right. If you're just tuning in, my name is Shad Bogany. I'm host of the Real Estate Corner. We're here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15, giving you ins and outs of what's going on in the Houston real estate market. Guys, we've been on the air now 28 and a half years. This is our 28 and a half year. We'll be 29 in August. And you're listening on KWWJ 1360. I was talking to a client today, and she said, I was driving home, stuck in traffic, didn't even know the show was on. I was flipping the dial and caught you. Yes, we are spreading the gospel of real estate here. And the numbers are 281-837-2222. If you have any questions for Troy, this is an awesome program. Troy, do you have to be a first-time home buyer?
That's the great thing about it. No, you don't. It is based on your income, and the income is also depending on where in the state you're buying. For example, the maximum income limits for Brazoria County, if you're going on a government loan, is $104,765, and that is for a family. And now, if you're going on a conventional loan, it's a little bit less. It would be about $86,135 is the maximum.
Okay.
So there's different programs for different folks, but
so you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. Can I use it for new construction as well as resales?
you can. You
Okay.
can. So that's a big help too. On this particular program, you have a choice of different amounts of help. For example, if you're going on the Gold Star 7-year program, it's a FHA loan, government loan, and you got 4% down payment assistance. Your interest rate is affected slightly by the amount that you get in the grant. The rate would be 5.625 as of today.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you got a little less, the rate would be a little less. If you got a little bit more, it'd be a little bit more on the interest rate.
Okay.
On the 10-year, you could get 5%, okay, and the rate would still be 5.625. So if you say, hey, I'm buying this home to stay in it for the haul, it's my first home, or I've been looking for a place to settle down. If you plan on being there a while, that is a great amount of help at a great rate.
All right, and it is forgiven after a certain period of time.
Right. It's going to be forgiven after 7 or 10, which depending on which program you go with.
All right. We're talking with Troy, Troy Cochran. I've sat on the board with Troy over at the Houston Association of Realtors. Troy's a great guy. He understands, and I'm always, my heart is out and hand is out to those who are trying to help people to buy their first home or buy their second home. One of the biggest challenges out there are people having enough money to buy a house. I can tell you, I can remember years ago that I could get you in a house for $1,500. Troy's been around a long time as I have, and I bet he can remember those days. But now it's 10s or 11,000. So let me put it in perspective for you. Troy just said 4 or 5 points. The average new home is somewhere around 200,000. So you looking at right at 4 points, that is going to be $8,000. If you're at 5 points, that's a $10,000 that you'll have to be able to get into a home. So those are some significant down payment assistance help. We've also, Troy, wanted to ask you, is it any credit score requirement here?
Yes, sir. The credit score, like on a government loan, they really want you to be at 660. Okay. And there is ways to at 640, 620. When you get below 620, it starts getting very difficult to do the loan.
Okay.
And it's kind of like that for regular loans as well. So if you're in that 620 to 660, you still qualify. There's a little bit of adjustment. But when you get to 660, you're in really good shape to get the maximum amount.
And that gives me a safe way before I go to my next guest who also works with SETH, Steve Harris. You know, guys, I got a call Friday that FHA was changing their guidelines in regards to FHA loans. And this is what the new guidelines is. And I put it out on my Facebook page, but I wanted to talk about it tonight a little bit. The new guidelines is with FHA, started yesterday. If you have a 680 and below credit score, or over 50% debt to income ratio, and what that means is that if you take your monthly payment and all your bills, minimum payments, and add them together, you can't go over 50%. Well, a lot of the lenders were running that through automated underwriting. now it has to be manually underwritten. So you've got somebody who actually looking at, asking questions as they write. Can you get the loan done? Sure you can. But where automated underwriting was much easier to get done. And the reason FHA made this change is that they said they were up 9 to 10% on over 50% back-end ratio loans. So they felt to be safe with the FHA funding fee. Keep in mind that FHA does not make loans. What they do is insure the loans, which will allow you to be able to do 3.5%, and so on. So the new rule is that if you're over 50% back debt-end ratio, and you're under 680, it has to be manually underwritten, which is a little bit harder loan, where we were getting a lot of loans through on with the automatic underwriting. Now, one of the reason we have over 50% debt ratio are the other changes. If your student loan is in forbearance, you've got a 1%. So if you owe $60,000 in student loans, they'd automatic, and you're not in the payment plan, they take 1% of that loan. So now you got a $600 added to your debt ratio. So there's some factors there that are causing the 50% debt ratio there. So all those who got student loans, even if you're thinking about going back to school, you might want to go ahead and set up a payment plan so that figure can be the one used to help qualify for your loan. At this time, I'm going to bring in Steve Harris. Steve, you've done my show several times, and we've done 28 and a half years. You've been on at least 10 or 15 times over 28 and a half years.
Well, yeah, I wasn't here for the first show, but 25 years ago, I think I was with you down on
Well, I appreciate you being here. You work a lot with SETH, but why don't you explain to our listening audience, and if you want to talk to the audience, talk directly into that camera and let them know back at home why they should be asking for an MCC and the changes that have happened with MCC.
Absolutely, Shad. I appreciate that. And like Troy, I'm honored to be here with you. Right here with two of the best real estate professionals in our community and two leaders, both members of the HAR board. Shad has had this program and done so many things throughout the state. Troy is chairman of Southeast Texas, and I've known Troy from going to the Bay Area Real Estate Breakfast on Wednesday mornings out in Deer Park. So it's great to be with both of you, true friends and true professionals at bringing the very best of real estate knowledge. Before we came on tonight, I was talking with Troy a little bit about the fact that not all people seem to be aware of this program or any of these programs, even though the Mortgage Credit Certificate, or MCC, has been available for over 20 years. And that's what we were talking about 20 years ago. Two problems that first-time home buyers, or that any home buyer generally has, it always used to be, what is my monthly payment and how can I qualify for the loan? The second problem is, how can I get the cash that I need to close? The Mortgage Credit Certificate provides the single best avenue to reducing the monthly housing cost. However, if you don't have the cash to close, it doesn't do any good. So the things that we've done over the years are to improve the program, to provide some more down payment assistance to make it cost effective. But the thrust of the program is that the program will provide a direct federal income tax credit. That is not a deduction. A deduction reduces taxable income. A credit directly reduces the tax liability. So if someone has a tax liability, they do not have to itemize deductions, and with the change in the tax law, fewer and fewer people will be itemizing deductions, but the MCC provides a direct federal income tax credit equal to 50% of the interest paid year after year after year for the life of the loan. And that's up to $2,000 each year. That not only is taken into account to help families qualify for their loan, but that's money they're going to get back every year to help make sure that they not only get into the house, but they can afford to continue to make their house payments and stay in the house. So we talk about sustainable home ownership and the vital importance of helping people, but providing help in a way that doesn't ultimately harm them. Harris County is the venue for the Mortgage Credit Certificate. There are also programs in Southeast Texas that it's the surrounding region. Troy talked about the region served by Southeast Texas, and their down payment assistance is statewide, but their MCC is only in those counties and cities served by Southeast Texas. The important thing here is that Harris County MCC can be used within Harris County, but not within the Southeast Texas cities, or sadly the city of Houston. So Baytown, Deer Park, LaPorte, League City, all of those have a separate MCC through Southeast Texas, and we offer and market the mortgage credit certificate within Harris County. We also assist with their down payment assistance through the 5-Star Advantage program, and that to me is even better than the Gold Star, although the Gold Star certainly provides some good benefit, but we talk about not only FHA and VA, but conventional loans. And with these changes in FHA underwriting, I think we're going to continue to see the market migrating more and more to the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac products, the conventional loans, and in fact, Freddie Mac provides some further down payment assistance. Now, to make the MCC successful, Harris County has over the years taken down over $600 million of bond allocation to convert that into direct credit for home buyers. That means that they had an option to issue tax-exempt bonds to provide money for housing. Instead, they exchanged that with the IRS and said, rather than let Allstate or a big investor get the tax benefits, let's carve those off and very efficiently give them straight through to a home buyer, and a home buyer can achieve $2,000 a year tax credit, tax refund by using the MCC.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. My name is Shad Bogany. You've been listening to the Real Estate Corner, and I want to thank you for allowing us to come into your home on Saturday morning. The numbers here, if you have some questions for my guests, it's 281-837-2222. Guys, you're listening to KWWJ 1360. You can also catch us on 96.9 FM. And if you go out to kwwj.org, click on the blinking radio tower here. Click on the blinking radio tower and you can get streaming audio all over this city, all over this world. The numbers again, if you have internet, of course, 281-837-2222. We're going to pay some bills. Those that are living down in Hempstead, we got an announcement for you. We'll be right back with the Real Estate Corner. Thinking about buying or selling, real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Get survey, put a home on the market, review the net sheets, taxes, advice on financing, homestead exemptions, advice on insurance, what kind of mortgage, inspections, considering offers, negotiations, submitting an offer, how good are the schools, down payment assistance, title insurance, home warranties, closing costs, final walkthrough. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call, Shad Bogany. Thank you, Jermaine. Welcome back to the Real Estate Corner. I'm your host, Shad Bogany. We're here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15, giving you the latest information in regards to the real estate industry. You know, I started to show off about the Harvey victims, and we've got a seminar that will be done out in the Hempstead area. Hempstead Recreation Center, 635 Business 290 East, Hempstead. This will be April 6th, and this is to lead families down to the road of recovery, connect with local nonprofit sources, meet with HUD-approved nonprofit housing counselors, legal and title issues, avoiding scams, reporting scams, affordable loans for fuel-efficient cars, free rebuilding and reimbursement down in the Hempstead area up to $50,000. It's April 6th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you have more questions, call 1-855-230-8161. Let me repeat this again, 1-855-230-8161. For those in the Hempstead area, this is what you need to bring: photo ID, information about your mortgage, documentation of all your income, and all property insurance documentation. This will be in the Hempstead area, April 6, 2019, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's 635 Business Center, 290 East for those who know the Hempstead Recreation Center. This is for those to help you. And guys, go and participate. This information was provided to me by Hope Now, and they are putting this out into the rural communities that are really, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine, guys, who down in Rockport, and was asking, had Rockport come back yet? And it hasn't. They're still struggling down in the Rockport area, which is if you've never been to Rockport,
It's incredible.
It's an incredible area, but they're still struggling. So, of course, I can only go so far. So I'm hitting everybody that I can hit in my general area, and we've got one more to hit you with in another area of town in a few minutes when we come back. This show is brought to you every Tuesday by Prosperity Bank. No one has a loan. 600 credit score. No MI, 100% financing. You just can't make over $74,000. You can buy a new home, but it's got to be already up, and you can buy a resale home. So give Prosperity a call. Let them know you heard it on the Real Estate Corner, and tell them, hey, guys, there's no loan out there better than a Prosperity Bank loan. And what really makes it go is the 600 credit score. 600 credit score. Roy, you're a realtor. Have you heard of anybody doing 600 credit score at 100%?
Not in a long time. Not in a long time. That's a pretty good deal.
That's a pretty good deal. And they will work with down payment assistance programs. As long as the program works with them, they will work with them. So Prosperity Bank, the UHOP program, that's 1-844 YOUHOPP. That's 1-844 YOUHOPP. So, Steve, couple of questions. And I want the listening audience to really get an idea of this program. Years ago, and it seems years ago, President Obama came out with the $8,000 tax credit. And that was one time.
Right.
This program is $2,000 in tax credit as long as you're paying interest into the loan. So it actually is a stronger program than what President Obama introduced years ago when we were trying to do the recovery side of it.
Well, that's right. It really is an improvement. It helped us a great deal because it brought front of mind awareness to many more families about the difference between a tax credit and an interest deduction. Anybody can get the interest deduction. The tax credit is directly reducing property taxes. So once people are aware of that opportunity to grab what was then a $8,000 or $5,000 one-time credit, they saw the difference between a tax credit and an interest deduction and saw if we can now get $2,000 a year for the life of the loan, the actual amount is 50% of the interest up to $2,000 a year, but we've used that higher rate just because the loan is going to pay down slowly by slowly by slowly. They're going to get that $2,000 credit in most instances for 15 years of the loan. So it really is an ongoing wonderful benefit. You like to talk about the benefit of reducing the effective cost. Now the contractual rate, this is a companion to any loan that our lenders make, and any lender who chooses can participate. So they come in, get the very best mortgage that you can get, and then we'll get a tax credit. So on a 4.5% mortgage, we can really reduce that net cost down to about 3%. So it really is the single most powerful way to reduce the housing cost on an ongoing basis.
So, and put it in perspective, we're talking roughly $166 a month. So, if you had a $1,800 a month payment, you're roughly talking somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1,550 off that.
That's right.
So I hope my math is right. I hope I gave off the right number for Prosperity Bank too. I keep those 1-800. I got a lot of numbers going in front of me. But my producer with Iconic is going to get everything straightened for you home audience out there. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. Troy, tell us a little bit. Your office is in Galena Park or Deer Park?
It's actually in Deer Park.
Okay. What's your number if people want to talk with you? How can they get in touch with you?
Well, first of all, our company is family run, and my mom and dad started it 39 years ago, and I've been doing it 35 years this year. So we've been around in Deer Park, so we're very established, very well known in our community and surrounding areas. It's called Victory Properties. We're on St. Augustine in Deer Park. My number's 281-479-6100.
All right. You know, I always like to highlight when people are volunteering, giving their time, as Troy is doing, it does help that we let people know that they've got a real estate office. And, you know, as I tell people all the time, if you want to have a smooth transaction, you want somebody who's experienced, who knows all these programs. And it's so funny, Troy, that people are using people who don't know anything about down payment assistance or the MCC program, and it really does help. So if you're out interviewing people, you ask them, you know about the SETH program? No, I don't. Well, you need to keep interviewing, and that's why I wanted Troy to give his information out, and Steve to give the effective rate out, because with the new administration, home ownership is all about wealth building right now, and probably your biggest offset is the MCC tax credit in that end. Troy, you wanted to talk a little bit more about your program. Tell us what we missed.
Well, there's a few other things that I really think your listeners would want to know about on this program. I gave the example earlier about Brazoria County on maximum incomes, and it was on a government loan, $104,765. On a conventional loan, it'd be $86,135. But there's one other group that really needs down payment assistance, and this would be the affordable income subsidies folks that their income does not exceed $59,920.
Okay.
So if they qualify on that, they can actually get, on a conventional loan, they can get an additional grant of $2,500 to go on top of what you're getting on our programs. Now, that's pretty neat, because
is that all over the state or just in the South?
It's going to be in our counties that qualify.
Okay.
For example, let's compare Chambers County. Chambers County, it's not $104,765 like it is in Brazoria. It's $86,135 for government.
Okay.
And it's the same thing for conventional, but then on the AI, it's still at $59,920. So that stays the same in Brazoria County, Chambers County, Liberty, Montgomery, Walker, Waller County, Wharton County, Matagorda County. These numbers stay pretty close to the same. I will say, I did say Matagorda and Wharton County, they're a little bit lower. They're at about 45 too. So it depends on the county on what you can get, but that would qualify you for additional $2,500 on top of whatever you're already getting.
So if someone was listening, so they're driving, they can't write everything down. How is it a website they can go to? How do they find all this information out?
Well, there's a really good website. We have a www, and it's SETH, S-E-T-H, goldstar.com, all one word. And when you go to that, it will tell you about the lenders. There's over 70 different lenders that participate in this program. There's also folks that you can contact with SETH if you need additional information. But when you call these lenders, they offer this program. We also have another program that Steve referred to earlier. It's called the SETH 5-Star. That's a little bit different. And you can find out what program is best for you. And it also, like I said, it goes depending on what county you're at and what you're going to make. There are a couple other things I wanted to mention to you, that you do need to take a home buyer course that you take online. You don't have to go spend the time, the 2 hours in a class. You do it at your leisure. You can kind of come and go. You can go start the program. You do it for 30 minutes. You can go cook dinner, come back and pick it up, and you finish it on your own schedule. That's very convenient compared to what it used to be, where you had to go sit in a class for that time period. The things you learn on that are so important, because these are things that you really need to know before you purchase the home, before you pick out the lender and stuff like that. It helps educate you to know what you're really doing and explains the process. And like I said, we do have over 70 lenders. And here's something else about the program. Let's say that your income and credit's just not really strong, you're marginal, and you have to have a co-buyer with you. And let's say your parent's going to step in and help you buy it.
Right.
You could still qualify for these programs as long as you're going to be living in the home.
Okay. We're talking with Troy Cochran. Troy's with Victory Properties. He's chairman of the board of Southeast Texas Housing Agency, and he was just giving you some background and information. Guys, I wanted to share to you, the listening audience, if you're thinking about buying a house, you should not be co-signing for anyone. That is the kiss of death in home ownership. And I wanted to bring this up because I was talking to somebody who says, oh, I just co-signed for my sister a car. You don't want to co-sign for anybody because it is the kiss of death. But if you're going to co-sign for somebody, we've just had Troy tell you to co-sign for, if you're a parent, co-sign for home ownership, because now you're building wealth and not putting money into a depreciating asset. So I am recommending that if you're going to be doing anything, and parents, you want to help, you go and co-sign for them to be able to buy a house, and they can do this with this program if you credit.
Absolutely.
Numbers again, 281-837-2222. So Steve, let me ask you a question, and before we take a break, because we're behind on one.
Uh-oh.
What's the cost of the MCC to the homeowner?
The MCC cost in Harris County is 1% of the loan plus $75.
And you get that back the first year.
You get that back the first year, but even better than that, this year Harris County has dipped into their own reserves, and they're giving a $1,500 grant, which in most instances will pay the cost of the MCC.
All right.
So it's a wonderful benefit. I'd like to also, just as you're saying, when you're dealing with or looking for a realtor, to pick someone who's knowledgeable about these programs. And having seen Shad in action, Troy in action over the years, my wife had an instance to sell her house that had an MCC on it, and so our first call was to Shad. He came over, listed the house, and sold it within 30 days. So people that care about what they're doing, who are involved in the community, are giving of themselves, in my judgment, are the very best of their profession, and are willing to do whatever it takes to achieve the closing. So thanks again, Shad.
Well, thank you, Steve. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. If you're looking for a title company, you need to give American Title a call. 5802 Val Verde, Charlene Clancy and her group. Over there, she's got Ron, she's got Eric, who speaks Spanish. They do an amazing job. And see, title companies, the fees are all governed by the state of Texas, the costs of the policy. So what it all boils down to is service. And so when you're picking a title company, whether you're refinancing your house, as I've told you over and over, if you're buying a house from a family member or a lot or something, you still want a title policy done. Give Charlene Clancy a call. Her number is 713-784-0006. That's 713-784-0006. Tell her you heard it on the Real Estate Corner. She just renewed with us. And so I want to thank Charlene Clancy and American Title for being one of our sponsors. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. For those in Port Arthur, I've got some information for you. Be right back with the Real Estate Corner. Thinking about buying or selling, real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Get survey, put a home on the market, review the net sheets, taxes, advice on financing, homestead exemptions, advice on insurance, what kind of mortgage, inspections, considering offers, negotiations, submitting an offer, how good are the schools, down payment assistance, title insurance, home warranties, closing costs, final walkthrough. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call, Shad Bogany. And welcome back to the Real Estate Corner. I'm your host, Shad Bogany. I'm in the studio with Steve Harris, who is the MCC guy. He's all over with the MCC, a great, great program. When my daughter bought her house, she used the MCC program. I wanted to make sure she got that program. We've also got Troy Cochran in the office here with us in the studio with Victory Properties. Troy is chairman of the board of SETH, Southeast Texas Housing Agency. So I wanted to reach out to those down in Port Arthur. The Harvey victims, leading families down to road to recovery. They're going to be doing this in Port Arthur. Let me give you the dates. West Side Development Center. Port Arthur was hit awfully hard with Harvey. 601A Ransom Howard Drive, Port Arthur, Texas. Parking lot by the YMCA Marquee, May 11th, 2019, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is a great, great program. Meet with HUD-approved counselors, nonprofit housing counselors, free rebuild and reimbursement programs up to $50,000. Learn about the scams, because they are out there. Affordable loans for fuel-efficient cars. I don't know how that got in there, but that's there. And access to legal aid opportunities with attorneys. So go out, visit this group. This is an excellent opportunity for you to get some information. Call 1-855-230-8161. That's 1-855-230-8161. Access to legal aid with 8 attorneys, home title issues, foreclosure issues. Guys in Port Arthur, you need to bring your photo ID, information about your mortgage, documentation of all your income, and all property insurance documents. This is a great way. This is May 11th, 2019, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is being put together by the group Hope. And Hope Now, they gave me a call today and said, hey, we're trying to help these homeowners in the rural areas. Houston has a lot of help already. We're trying to get to these families out in the rural communities, and I just wanted you to know this is available to you. And so we're going to continue to repeat these. As each date goes by, we'll drop off. But I know Port Arthur was really hit hard. And this program that we're talking about, SETH, Troy, works in Port Arthur also. Am I correct?
It works throughout the state. All these programs, these
Okay.
down payment assistance really do.
All right. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. So see, let me ask the magic question. For second-time home buyers, displaced homeowners, can they use the MCC?
The answer, sadly, is no.
You have to be a first time.
You have to be a first-time home buyer,
Okay.
except there are about 8 different census tracts where are designated as targeted areas. You need not be a first-time home buyer. And another wonderful thing is that qualified veterans need not be first-time home buyers. So we do have some opening there for people that are not first-time home buyers. And again, a first-time home buyer is defined by the IRS as someone who has not owned their own home for the past 3 years. So if someone owned a home, they moved out and used it as a rent house, or they sold the house, 3 years later they would be eligible to use the MCC again.
All right. Is this just for Harris County?
This is Harris County, although there is a SETH MCC program. We have programs in Brazos County and down in Harlingen, but this is the MCC for Harris County, which is outside of the city of Houston, and then Southeast Texas, which is the entire region, excluding Harris County and Houston.
Well, you know, I got a call from my good friend Kathy Gutierrez down at TDHCA, and Kathy told me, you know, Shad, with our MCC program, which covers the whole state,
Right.
you can't use their program anymore unless you're using their down payment assistance or their loan products, which should give a boost to you, Troy.
It does.
Gives a boost to you, Steve,
Right.
because now you're not competing with them,
Well.
and you can be able to use this program if you're in these particular areas. So Troy, in your area right now, so and we've got a lot of people come in the middle of the show. Let's kind of go over again your program again for those who are just tuning into us, who just flipped the channel, who just turned us on and say, hey, God, it's 8 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock, 9:30, I got to catch Shad. So let's repeat, Troy, about SETH. Let's start off with the areas that you cover for certain parts of your program.
Okay, for the SETH Gold Star program, that's the down payment assistance program. It's basically statewide. The areas that are not covered are going to be Travis County, El Paso, and Grand Prairie.
Okay.
So those areas are out. You asked me a while ago about if somebody could actually use the program in Port Arthur. The key to this is using one of the approved lenders. And I told you there's 70 lenders. So if you call a lender that's not in the program, they're going to tell you you can't get it. So it's really important for you to go to the website.
And look up the 70.
Look up the 70 lenders and pick one out to visit with them about getting the programs.
Okay.
Because just like if you dealt with a realtor that doesn't know about program, they're not going to share it. So you have to talk to people that know.
I need to take a station break right now, 10-second ID. We'll be right back with the Real Estate Corner. My name is Shad Biden. We'll be right back, and we'll continue on with Troy's information. Thinking about buying or selling, real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Get survey, put a home on the market, review the net sheets, taxes, advice on financing, homestead exemptions, advice on insurance, what kind of mortgage, inspections, considering offers, negotiations, submitting an offer, how good are the schools, down payment assistance, title insurance, home warranties, closing costs, final walkthrough. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call, Shad Bogany. Welcome back to the Real Estate Corner. I'm your host, Shad Bogany. We're here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15. I'm a broker associate with Better Homes and Gardens, Gary Green. If this is your first time listening to this show, I always like to say we are the granddaddy of the real estate shows in this city, in this state. I've been told this is the longest running show in the country, 28 and a half years. Guys, I had hair when I started this show. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. I've got in the studio with me Troy Cochran with Victory Properties. He's also chairman of the Southeast Texas Housing Agency that has to deal with down payment assistance. Troy, I stop you right in the middle. So if you could come back to your point and let our listening audience know what's going on.
So we have some down payment assistance programs, and they are forgivable on the payback over a period of time. There's a 7-year and a 10-year, and you can get different amounts. You can get 2, 3, 4, 5% on your down payment assistance. On the 7-year, it starts being forgiven after 2 years, and it's finished after 7. And on the 10-year, it starts at 5 years, and it's finished at 10. So if you're planning on staying in the home 7 to 10 years, there's absolutely no payback. If you do end up selling the home beforehand, the amount that you'll pay back will never be more than the amount that you got the credit for. So it's not going to be a whole lot. Another thing that you need to remember is it's based off of income. And the income varies from county and city areas, and you have to check with that with one of the approved lenders. If you say you need 4% down payment assistance, the interest rate would be on today on a government loan, FHA that is, it would be 5.625. But if you said, Troy, I need a little bit more, and you went with the 10-year, you could get a 5% down payment assistance, and the rate would actually be the same. And so you get more help, same interest rate. When I mentioned a while ago that if you fall into what is called affordable income subsidies, these are extra grants that are given to folks on conventional loans. They can get an additional $2,500 on top of whatever they're getting in the program. Now, I need to mention this. On FHA and conventional, both programs allow some seller assistance. Now, the markets are really strong. In a lot of areas, it's hard to find sellers that are willing to do that.
Very much so.
But there is, from time to time, some sellers willing to do some. If you're fortunate enough to have a seller that will pay $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 towards your closing costs, that can go in addition. And it's possible with the down payment assistance you get from the program and the down payment assistance you're getting from the seller to get into the home for very, very little. And I've actually had 2 times that buyers actually got back some of their earnest money at closing. And I've had several other times where they're able to buy the home and get into it for $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000, which is very affordable for a lot of people. And the down payment's the hardest thing for most people to come up with to buy a home, as you know.
Right. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. You're listening to the Real Estate Corner. I've got one more commercial to do, and that's about the Shad Bogany team. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, you should not make a decision without at least giving us a call at 713-667-1000. I've got a great team. We've got Ty, we've got John, we've got Jermaine, we've got Courtney, and we've just brought in Dr. Danielle Reese, who's a part of our team. So if you're looking to buy or sell, we at least want you to at least interview us before you make that decision, whether it's a new home, whether it's a resale home. And guys, we work the whole city. So the numbers there are 713-667-1000. That's 713-667-1000. Please give us a call. Go out and visit our team website, www.shadboganyteam.com. That's www.shadboganyteam.com. And keep in mind, when you go to my website, I've got videos of all parts of the city. I got Help To videos, all this information. We believe that you give you as much information as we can possibly give you to help you make the correct decision. Because when you're buying a house, and I'm sure Troy will understand this and knows this, everybody's in your ear. Everybody's telling you, hey, do this, but every transaction is different. I don't think, Troy,
Amen.
you've had the
Amen.
same transaction.
Amen.
I've never had it. And Steve, you bought several houses. They've never been the same with you either. So you need to go out and make sure you get as much information as you can out there in the marketplace. So, Troy, in your deal, what's the credit score limitation?
So the preferred credit score to get the maximum help with the ease is 660.
Okay.
But it can go down to 620. So if you fall in that 620, 30, 40, there's still a program and it still works for you.
Okay.
You just get the maximum amount when you get to 660 or higher.
All right. And you're able to combine the MCC and the down payment assistance
That's
program.
the beauty of this, because in the past, like you said, there was times that you couldn't do that. Right now you can do that.
Okay.
Which makes it just more advantageous to a buyer. Why would you not want to take advantage of both these programs at the same time if they're offered? And I just need to share this with you. I really believe that so many lenders don't share that with our buyers because they're not taking the time to educate them on what's out there. And sometimes there's realtors that just are not aware of these programs. So if you're hearing about these programs, they're out there for you. You just need to talk to the right person. So find a realtor, check the website. Like I said, it's on the SETH program. It's SETHgoldstar.com. You can find the list of the lenders, and that's a good place to start.
And the numbers here again, 281-837-2222. I'm amazed we hadn't had any callers for my guests tonight, but I guess we're doing a great job. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. I know, guys, when I'm driving, I want to call in. Give the numbers out again. 281-837-2222. My guests in the studio, Steve Harris and Troy Cochran with Southeast Texas Housing Agency. And Steve works with both programs. Am I correct, Steve?
That's correct.
All right. Steve, you gave some exceptions. And so some people just got in their car, or the kid turned the dial for a second trying to get some hip hop, and mom changed it. Hey, you go back to that channel. What are the exceptions to the MCC program in Harris County?
Yeah, I haven't even talked about, we have an income limit of $71,000 to $80,000 for families of 1 or 2 or 3 or more. We have a maximum purchase price of $300,000. We have the general rule that it is for first-time home buyers, people who have not owned a home any time in the past 3 years. The exceptions are that if you're within certain qualified census tracts within Harris County called targeted areas, you need not be a first-time home buyer. And if you are a qualified veteran, we also carved out a special feature so that those borrowers need not be a first-time home buyer. We talk about using the down payment assistance. We talk about the tax credit of $2,000 a year, and we say, or use both, because as you say, we can use both. The problems first-time home buyers often have are, what is my payment? The MCC solves that problem. What is my cash to close? The 5-star or the various Southeast Texas down payment solves that. And Harris County does offer an additional $1,500 grant to every home buyer using the MCC.
Guys, you're listening to KWWJ 1360. I'm your host, Shad Boggany. I'm here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15. We're going to try to continue to bring you the latest information of what's happening in the real estate industry. There is no reason out there that you should be paying this high rent at these apartments. It's just incredible that you can pay $1,800 a month, $1,700 a month. The average home rental in Houston for something decent is up around $1,600, $1,700. Why couldn't you put that in a home? I just don't. And the thing is that we don't have to buy the whole enchilada. Get a starter home. Get something you start. Start building wealth. Income goes up. Things get better. Then what you do is turn that into your first rental investment and you go and buy. Or you sell it, call us, sell it, then take the equity out of it and move it over to the next home. So there's a ways to build. I will tell you, Steve and Troy, in our community, the African American community, we're at the same point in home ownership as we was in 1968, 42%. That's incredible. We're making more money, people are more educated. It is no reason that we should continue to rent. And all the program that Troy has helps you, the program that Steve helps you get to that point of home ownership. You've got to start building wealth. When you see the differential in net worth, guys, it's all about the home. It's in the home. It's all about the home. And I can't tell you, to me, home ownership is just as important as voting, because for many years you wasn't allowed to even buy, you couldn't get a loan or any of that type of stuff. Now is your time. I met with a young lady yesterday and I said, you know, you're paying rent, you should be trying to buy. You make good money. And so we've got to get this thing. Home ownership is important. It's really, really important. And I don't care where you're living, whether you're in Katy. Say you don't want to live, Steve or Troy, and take care of a yard. Then you go buy a condo or a townhouse. So can I use this program with condos and townhouses?
You sure can.
Okay,
Sure can.
So there's ways to make this work. So if you like just driving in, getting out your car and going upstairs, never cutting the yard, well, they got townhouses and condos out there available for you. So there's many reasons for you to be able to purchase a home here in the Houston area. Guys, did we leave out anything?
Well, I was listening to the radio before the program came on and learned that it is Testimony Tuesday. So here we are, Testimony Tuesday, talking about the gospel of real estate. So thank you, Shad. Proud to be with you.
Well, I am so happy that I'm able to do this show here on KWWJ and to get this information out. Guys, I am going to bring on the Community Land Trust. I am working on that to try to get more information out there. Steve will laugh. We both sit on Hall's Community Development Corporation, CDC board, and I want to thank Steve for his service there and bringing us more board members, because we try to have a board that can help somebody on the board know something about something on our boards, because we don't all have the answers. But Steve will laugh. We had this beautiful home that I was going to announce here on this show out in Acres Home for $185,000, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, really nice home. Steve asked me to go out there and update the pictures on it. I did, and the house sold.
Well, let me say, we've got another one coming. So 1043 Conklin is under contract, but we're building another one at 934 Conklin, and that's going to be exactly the same floor plan, a beautiful 1,600 square foot ranch house, solid brick, beautiful home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, ready to go. So.
And guys, what I want to tell you about the home that the Houston Area Urban League Community Development Corporation is building, you're going to own the land. So you're going to own the land. So
no dirt, no deal.
No Community Land Trust here. But I applaud the Community Land Trust for what they're doing, because cost has gone up and they're trying to make it affordable. They're trying to make it affordable. And I was talking to someone the other day. They seem to have lined up their lenders in place. And Troy, this is a question for you. Have you guys talked about in your board of whether or not you're going to be working in any of those programs?
Well, you know, it's funny you say that, because just about 2 weeks ago at our last meeting, we actually just kind of threw it out there to see where the interest is, and we're looking into it.
Okay.
So, Not sure yet, but
All right.
we're looking into it.
Give the website out for more information. And Steve, will you give your website out too? Because people are driving and may miss it, but please give the websites out.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so for SETH, it's www, of course, SETH, S-E-T-H, goldstar.com, SETHgoldstar.com. Like I said, there's tons of information. It talks about other programs we have as well, and it gives a list of the lenders. There is our marketing lady. Her name is Rhonda. And
Rhonda's done this show too.
yeah, she has. She has. And you can find Rhonda's number on there to give her a ring if you still need some direction on what to do.
All right, Steve?
And the Harris County HFC.org. So it's Harris County HFC, that's for Housing Finance Corporation.org.
All right. Guys, you've been listening to the Real Estate Corner. My name is Shad Bogany. I'm here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15. Don't forget our sponsors, American Title, 5802 Val Verde, and the best home loan on the market. And that's with Prosperity Bank. And that's 600 credit score, no MI, 100% financing. Nobody has a better loan. You can be a veteran without being a veteran. So give them a call over at Prosperity Bank, 1-844-UHOP, 1-OU-YOU-HOPP. I want to thank you guys for coming in, being a part of this show. Troy, thank you. I hope you'll
Absolutely.
come back.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, if you get any more changes. And Troy just came back from Europe, so I really appreciate you taking the time. And you just got back, you got your business to run, and you did my show. Thank
And
you.
I'm still tired, but I enjoyed it.
Okay. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate
Thanks,
you
Shad.
being
Great
here.
to be with you.
Guys,
Appreciate
we'll
it.
see you next week on the Real Estate Corner. Once again, thank you very much. Go out and visit our website. That's www.shadboganyteam.com. Go visit our website. See you next week on the Real Estate Corner. Thinking about buying or selling? Real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Get survey, put a home on the market, review the net sheets, taxes, advice on financing, homestead exemptions, advice on insurance, what kind of mortgage, inspections, considering offers, negotiations, submitting an offer, how good are the schools, down payment assistance, title insurance, home warranties, closing costs, final walkthrough. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call, Shad Bogany.